Hi everyone, welcome back to Gracie's Garden. So today I thought I would show you some changes that I've made to the garden and also everything that is in bloom. I am in Florida Zone 9A, 9B, which is coastside by the Daytona Beach area. So we'll go ahead and get started. So here we have Bleeding Heart. And this blooms always this time of year in October, November. And it is just looking beautiful. Another thing we have in bloom is the starfruit tree. I think you can see all the fruit on the tree. Let's have a closer look. So this whole tree is filled with starfruit. And the starfruit blooms are actually really kind of small. The flowers are these tiny little purple flowers. And then here is tiny little starfruit. And the tree almost gets like a weeping willow effect on it because all the branches start weighing down from the weight of the fruit on the tree. Another plant that's in bloom is this here, which is the lantern plant. Isn't that just beautiful? I love this plant. When I was sold the plant, they told me it was quite invasive, and I've had it for 2 years. It's never grown past the stick plant, and I've struggled to keep it alive. And this is the first time it's bloomed in 2 years, and there are tons of buds on the plant. Another plant in bloom is this one. We call it a shrimp plant. I'm not sure that's the official name, but this one I've also struggled to keep alive. It's really taken about a year to get established and to finally start blooming. Another plant is this here, which is called Mexican sunflower. The bees and hummingbirds love this flower. It does get quite tall. Currently, I would say this plant is anywhere from 15 to 20 foot tall. Let me show you. It is as tall as my house, just a single story family home. Here's it in bloom and about getting ready to bloom there. And through all of this, if you can see, is Dutchman's pike. And this is the one the butterflies love so much. And that is a vine that is also quite invasive. It will take over everything if you don't keep it under control. I failed to keep it under control this year, so it has taken over everything. And then this is it before it hatches, before it blooms. It always looks like an egg, so I always say it's hatching. And then here's a tiny little one. And here we have a plant that hasn't quite bloomed yet, and that is the donkey's ears or donkey burrow ears. As you can see, it has a lot of blooms on the top here. And this plant also produces the babies right off the tip of the plant. So you can just snap the baby off, stick it in dirt, and it will grow. And right now I have a lot of babies on this. So this is a baby I propagated off of it, just plucked it off the tip, stuck it in some dirt, and it's actually already produced its own little baby. And it was simple. I didn't even water it, just plopped it right into the dirt. And we have pentas here, and then more of the bleeding heart getting ready to bloom. And then the rubber tree plant is putting on all these new leaves. And the bougainvillea is blooming. And then just one wayward Cosmo over there that self-propagated itself. And while this really isn't in bloom, the Songs of India is like really taken off all of a sudden. A lot of new growth here and here. And just the colors have really started to pop and been very vibrant. So here next to the Songs of India is one of my winter projects, and that is this bromeliad. I planted it back there, and it's finally, like, I planted it really far back there, and it's finally made its way to the pathway to the house. And as you know, bromeliad can be quite jagged or sharp along the edges of the plant. So I'm going to be digging probably all of it out and move it to either the backyard or to the side of the house and just kind of let it do its thing. And I think that'd be a good option, is to just move it totally. There is a squill plant in here that is just being overgrown and overshadowed by the bromeliads. So I think that will allow it to get some breathing room and some legs and finally take off. It hasn't bloomed in the last 2 years, I think because the bromeliad is just suffocating it. So that will be one of my winter projects this year. And something else that's happened is this plant here, which I've not had good luck with, has finally put out a new baby, and it has another one getting ready to come out right here. And then this is the old leaf it's had forever. So all of a sudden it has decided it's happy, it's okay, here's some growth. And oddly enough, a plant I can't remember the name of, because I thought it was dead, is this little guy right here. My neighbor gave me that plant. It died instantly. I have to laugh, but it died instantly, and now, like a year later, it's put out this. Whether it's happy, whether it'll put out more, I do not know. And then look at the leaves on this. Aren't they just beautiful? And then from here we have well, the name escapes me right now, but this plant is just beautiful. It gets these long tubular flowers once they bloom, little ruffle edges, and they only last about a day and then they fade out quite quick. As you can see there, they've started dropping. And this is a vining plant. And then once the flowers drops, it leaves this behind. So here is the tree that was damaged pretty badly during the hurricane. I don't think it's enough for it to come down, but you can see it is looking very sparse. There are whole sections of the tree right in here that is missing. More sections over here that it's missing. And there's, now that it's been about a month, a little over a month since the hurricane, you can see there's a lot of dead branches up top just kind of hanging out. We're going to go ahead and keep the tree through the winter and make a decision after it's dropped some leaves, and I think that will be a better call of how bad the tree is. Somebody recommended we talk to an arborist to see if they can just kind of save the tree and limb it up a little bit. All the tree services just want to drop the tree and take it out, and that's their job. But we're hoping to save the tree. But I know with the open branches and branches just being ripped off of it, that bugs will get in there eventually and just kill the tree. So, but decisions haven't been made yet. It's the only tree in the front yard, so we really want to try to keep it. And a lot of the plants planted underneath are shade plants, so if we lose this tree, we'd have to relocate all of those shade plants. So this is the side yard, and this is where the cassia shrub and the popcorn plant were. After the hurricane, I realized that they had snapped at the base of the tree and they both had to come out, which really kind of opened this space up a lot. So in the cassia area, I planted this, which is the red emerald. I don't know that that was a smart move on my part, but it really seems to have loved it. It's put out 2 new leaves. It's only been a week too, and it's put out 2 new leaves, and it is really pepped up a lot. It was quite root bound. And then in this spot where the popcorn tree was, I planted this. I think it's a celia or something along that line. This actually was underneath the tree here, this big green one here, this one, which name escapes me right now, but it was under there. It was kind of just getting suffocated and not enough light. So I moved it out, planted it here. I don't know that that was a smart choice because it is getting a little sunburn, but we'll wait and see what happens. It might be moved again. But I know these get quite large, so that's why I put it in the front of the garden. And I got these little trellises. They're only about 2 foot tall at a yard sale for $1. 2 of them. I couldn't believe it. Sometimes the things people get rid of amaze me. And this is just a kind of another angle from the side yard. You can see that's the area we were just in there. And this is actually coming along really nice. I want to kind of loop it around, loop it here. So the whole front yard, the pumpkins are still out. The whole front yard is kind of a block, and then just have like a grassy area right in here. And this is the other side yard on the opposite side of the garage, on the other side of the house. this is going to be my main project this winter. I want to cut back all this bougainvillea so I can get to the garden, no, not the garden, but also the garden hose that is over there. You can't even see. And every time you go there, of course, at bougainvillea, you have thorns. And then also to take out these crepe myrtles. There's 1, 2, 3, 4 crepe myrtles. And then this crepe myrtle here that's on the property line, but I don't think the neighbor will care if we take it out. And then also to take out this stick here. It's a sad stick, but it is a berry tree of some kind. Boysenberry maybe? And I cut it back at the base, and every year it comes back. So this year the goal is to get the roots out of there. I heard you can just take the leaves and break them off and stick them in some dirt. So I'm going to try to do that because the berries are actually really good. Let me show you a close-up of the leaves. I think it's boysenberry, I'm pretty sure. It just has this one branch that it shut off this year. Look at the cat looking out the window at me. She's very curious. Hi, Olive. So that is the side yard and the side project. Also, there's the garden hose. And to make maybe like put some stones down, make like a little pathway to the hose so it would discourage things from growing in that area. So this is a fire stick plant that is on the side of the house. It is wildly out of control, and it is growing up into the crepe myrtle. So I'm going to try to maintain it, get it under control, and I've never trimmed it, but this will be the first year that I've done that. But it is looking quite beautiful. Okay, and I want to show you this tree. I don't know if you can see it too well, it's getting dark, but this is a silk floss tree, and it has thorns, lots and lots of spiky thorns. And let me show it to you up close. And this tree is as tall as the single-story house. Thorns all the way to the top. And this tree is absolutely beautiful. It puts off these pink flowers. This one's already spent, and all of them are that are on the ground. But it puts off these pink flowers that smell. They're so beautiful. I mean, it just is so heavenly how they smell. And this tree, I mean, obviously the squirrels don't go in it, but they actually do. Those little boogers get all the way to the top. And I hope you can see it, but the pink flowers up there actually produce a little bit of a berry, and they eat that berry. Try to get the camera to focus. But these berries here, whoops, right in here, and the squirrels will jump from the roof of the house, eat those berries, and then, had they leave those berries alone, they actually would turn into these balls and clusters of, and when you pop them open, it looks like silky floss in them. I've never had one because the squirrels eat them all the time. So, nothing I can do about that. And tons of pink flowers at the top. And it really is a beautiful tree. The hummingbirds love it. I sit here in this chair and just watch the hummingbirds all day. This is an arbor that we're going to put up this winter. The box is a little beat up from the storm. I had no place to put it, but that arbor is going to get put up this winter. This is the backyard. It's still a hot mess. This is part of the tree that came down. And so it came down one branch here, another one over there, and then this new one that's still green. Just came down about a week ago. So it must have been attached a little bit, and then we had another rainstorm and it knocked it down. Unfortunately, that's the way weather keeps going, keeps coming with more storms. And then there is another Mexican sunflower. And this tree is probably going to have to come down eventually as well. But it does drop all of its leaves in the wintertime, so we'll reevaluate after it drops all of its leaves. It loses everything and goes bare. And then here, I cannot remember the name of these plants. I'm so bad at this, I'm sorry. But these plants are little trees. They got the purple leaf on the back. Obviously you can see they get quite large. And they get white tubular flowers that will come off. They're actually getting ready to, they always come out around this time of year, so they'll bloom pretty soon and start putting out their buds and then bloom. And then from this part here, it will just pop out and it'll be like a cascading shower of white flowers. They're about this long, the white flowers. And it'll be in bunches. There's a lot of them. And they spread quite easily. There was one plant and it spread to all of this, which is fine. This is another project for the wintertime. So many projects, but this year I'm a little bit more motivated than last year, so hopefully we'll get it done. All right, and that is it. I hope you all enjoyed the little garden tour, a little bit of the mess, what's coming up, and I'll see you in the next video. Please don't forget to hit like and subscribe. Bye.